If you're a one-person business trying to promote your service or product using social media, I'm going to share with you some tips that I learned after posting every day for 3 years for different brands. So let's go. Now, let's say that you want to be the ambassador, the face of your product or service, right? Now, one thing you can do is to be the ambassador of your brand and image, and therefore you are the main face of it. And this is for people who, again, are one-person business and they don't have a lot of experience making content. So one of the strategies that has worked on social media recently, and by recently I mean in the past 4 years or more, is that you want to get your background story right. So I was talking to this guy, he's launching a product very soon, and he was asking me some tips for how to launch his product on social media. And we came to the conclusion of, it's like, okay, dude, you got to do it yourself. If I was going to do a product and I wanted to launch it, the first thing I would ask is, what is your background story? Now, developing a background story, it's like a giant weapon for you to use on social media. Let me tell you a little bit of what this actually is. It's the answer to the questions like, who are you? What happened to you? What did you do? What problems are you trying to solve? Or why are you doing this? Now, in the case of this guy, his answer to these questions to me, he was like, I just want to make the coolest products. And that's a beautiful answer. And I told him like, yo, bro, you got a beautiful story right there. You just got to run with that and be the face of the product and document your launch, and just people will follow along with that. So number one is developing your background story. Now this works also super good if you make it an underground story. Something like, I was fired from Apple, or, and I'm going to get them back, which is like launching my own product. Now the underdog story it's bulletproof, it's timeless. One of my favorite examples of this was the marketing campaign by Smashed. Nicole is the intern. So intern is like knows nothing about business, right? Lower in the hierarchy of a company. So it's an intern trying to prove to her boss that her ideas are better than his old traditional marketing campaign. So immediately this underground story gets the audience on your side, because you're trying to fight the big man. If you can somehow develop a background story that puts you as an underground dog, in the case of my friend there, if it puts you, your story can put you just in the face of like, I want to make the coolest products for people, or I just want to make something that people can use and actually improve their lives by using. Then you have a beautiful story. You're not really perhaps you're still the underdog because you're competing with bigger brands and stuff. So like, it comes back to the same, like, but who are you? What's your story? Why are you doing this? That would be the first thing that I would ask. The number two thing that I would do is to document this process. And then from my experience of talking to at least 3 business owners so far, we kind of have a tendency to overcomplicate things and just overthink everything as people. Shoot first, asks later. Just like grab your phone, shoot whatever is in front of you and post it. Don't even bother trying to like learn different techniques or different content lengths. Like a lot of people that I help are on their content journey where they don't really know how to make videos. And the problems that most people have is that they watch a really good video. It looks simple, and yet they think they can do that they look organic and simple, and yet they're so hard to pull off, so hard to imitate, very difficult to replicate, either because of the storytelling, the pacing, the acting. Some videos look super realistic and like simplistic online, and they're actually very difficult to do. So it's a hard pill to swallow for many people, because it's like, what? Like that video got 10 million views and it was so easy. And it's like, it's actually not. Most of the viral videos out there, they have a level of complexity that most people don't understand. If you're launching a product and you document your process and you already have your story, like we said, now you're coming to the game with something of value, something to share. Now you're sharing your journey. And right now, like creating in public and documenting your journey, it's a big process, and most people want to see that. Most people want to like be there. And even if they're not there, they're going to be there once you succeed. And if you don't succeed, guess what? Your account never went anywhere. Your product never went anywhere. So nobody knows about you. Just like the 100 people that follow you and that stuff. That's it. Some people are going to make fun of you. Get over it. Like it's not that bad. So document the process. What I would say to people, I live in China, so I see a lot of people that are frequenting going to like factories and vendors and models and stuff like that. So when you are in that environment, that is a great environment to see what's behind the process of making a product. Most people will never get to see that. Most users, most consumers, they'll never get to see that. Now imagine like you're a fan of Nike, you get to see the brand owner taking you through the tour of the factory. You will never see that because such big brands, you don't have that closeness to them. But that's what the advantage of being a small business owner grants you, because you have to go to those places anyway, right? You're sourcing your product, you're remodeling it, you're packaging it. So you got to get all those things done, and showing that behind the scenes, like it has proven to be a valuable content that works. Now, trust me, you're not going to be using that footage all the time, but if you save that footage, if your product succeeds, then later you're going to have a very valuable asset for your editor to like have B-roll that is going to be fantastic for making and retelling your story. Like, this is the story of my first product, and this is the story of my second product. And that's what I would say. Don't overcomplicate this documenting process, and just shoot and post, caption here, title, 2-3 hashtags. Don't overcomplicate it. Just do it and go. The third and final, to use the power of social connections. That means that go to events, go to parties, and talk about your process just in the same way that you would talk to your followers. Sometimes the people who give you advice online is actually a bit better because it's unfiltered. But if let's say you have a product that people get to experience, like, I don't know, maybe like something as a camera gear, and you go and talk to, people who are doing shooting and stuff like that. Or let's say that it's a dancing shoe and you want to sell it to dancers. Now you can go to places where you would meet those kinds of people and try to do a documentation of like those people testing out their product and having that experience for the first time, where they give you like a real feedback on the product. And that could be a setback. Maybe they don't like it, and maybe you document that, and maybe that could be like great content, because that could become a story of like, I made this first prototype, I took it to a bunch of my friends, or I took it to a bunch of like new dancers and I asked them to try it out and they hated it. And that made me go back to the drawing board and like start again. If you actually do that and you go through the process of like redeveloping your product, it's gonna be a wonderful story for the audience to hear. And that's connected to my final tip, which is to create social adventure experiments as content. Now, this is the type of video where it's kind of on social media, a lot of times it's faked. I wouldn't fake it. I don't like to fake those things. I've done multiple social experiment videos that you can see on my channels, where I just go up to people and I ask them like, hey, can you give me a ride? And they take me on their car, and then I go on a ride with them. If your product has something to use an experience, like I said, like a camera holder or a dancing shoe, just go to those people, where those people you would find them, and try to have them an experience and like interview them afterwards. By interview, I don't mean like sitting down with a podcast, put a couple of lights and like, professional mics. I just mean like hold the phone to their face and just say like, yo, so what do you think? Or like, is this better than the ones you use, or something like that? Did it suck? Was it good? I'm trying to make this from scratch, and this is my story, blah, blah, blah. And much better if they already have a social following, of course. But yeah, anyway, those are my 4 tips on what I would do if I wanted to be the brand ambassador, the brand face of my product. Now, a lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people don't want to be the face of their brand. And in that case, you can do it faceless. You can do just product channel by creating like entertaining and valuable content as well. And I'm going to talk about that in another video. Those are my thoughts for now. And I hope if you're having a business and you want to promote your product, if you have fun doing it, it's like, damn, that's the best thing. That's the best life you can have right there. So we should wish. All right, go get it out there.